Well, hi everybody, let me introduce myself. My name's Frank Furness and I'm the founder of the Over 49 Club for all of us oldies and more mature in life. I tell you what, I started this because a couple of weeks ago a friend of mine got a call from a friend of hers, and her friend was sort of desperate. She said, listen, with the COVID and the lockdown now, I'm feeling so lonely. I've got nobody to speak to, nobody to communicate with. I can't see my family. And I just thought there must be so many other people like that. Let me start up something that I've had in my mind for a long time ago, which is the Over 49 Club. And let's see if we can get it going. It was quite interesting. In the first week, we had over 100 members joining us. Well, let me give you a little bit of my background. I grew up in South Africa originally, and I grew up in a little mining village. My dad was a miner. Every day he'd go 2 miles underground, do his shift, come back up again. And if we didn't have a disaster when I was 9 years old, I'd probably still be working at the mine. I'd have my overalls, my hat and my boots on, and I'd be going to do my shift underground. But we lived on dolomite, and every time it rained, the village would sink a little bit and sinkholes would appear. 2 days after my 9th birthday, 4 o'clock in the morning, knock on the door, sirens going off, you've got to get out, you've got to get out. The whole village is falling in. And sinkholes were appearing everywhere. 1 block away, a giant sinkhole appeared, and one family, the Oosthuizen family, disappeared, never to be seen again. Well, my dad said, get all of your most valuable possessions and let's get into the car. We were still in our pajamas. It was crazy. There were sirens going off, people leaving the village because we didn't know when the next sinkhole was going to appear. I took my most valuable thing, which was my pile of comics. My sisters took their dolls. We got into our little car and we drove out of the village 2 hours away to my grandmother. That was the last time we ever saw that house. The village was sealed off, all of our clothes, the rest of my comic collection, my sister's toys, everything was left in that little village. We had to start all over again, moved in with my grandmother, and my dad got a job on the local mine. We didn't have much money, but we didn't know really, because growing up in a mining village, you really don't have much money there. The most entertainment you have is every Saturday afternoon, everybody goes down to the village recreation club and everybody watches the sport on Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, all of the men get drunk, the women gossip, and the kids go and watch cinema. That was the highlight of our week. And the highlight of the year was when we had our Christmas tree do at the local rec club. There'd be all of the miners every month paid money in. And that's once a year when we would get some fantastic present. I remember getting a bicycle once, and it was like the most amazing present I've ever had in my life. Anyway, moving from there to Boksburg, where we stayed with my grandmother and my grandfather. We walked to school every day, and I always got those second-hand school uniforms. My folks couldn't afford the new ones, so the jacket sleeves were a bit short, or the trousers were a bit short, because I was a tall, skinny fella. And I went to a school called Martin School. After that, went to Boksburg High School. And I got to tell you, when I was at school there, I was pretty average at everything. I tried to get into the first rugby team, the first soccer team, the first athletics team. I was always in the second team. Studied as hard as I could, but I was always a B and a C student. I don't think I ever achieved an A. So I was just an average student at everything, except one thing. That was with the girls. Got to tell you, there I was way below average. I looked like a nerd, but I didn't have the brains. So the nerds wouldn't hang out with me, the other people wouldn't hang out with me, and I had an okay school life. I played. The one good thing that happened to me at school was when I was at 14 years old, my grandfather bought me a set of drums. And that was the greatest present I could ever have received. It was an old second-hand Gallo Pearl set of drums. And I used to sit playing every day. And he used to be a drummer in his younger days. So he taught me some of the drums. And I actually think he bought it to get out of the house, because he formed his own band. And he'd go and play at the old age homes. And I'd tag along and just watch him and learn. By the age of 15, I'd formed my own band. And we were practicing at home. And I remember my mom, who was the most incredible musician. My mom was a professional piano teacher. We always had music in the house, and I had all of my friends over there. And I remember us practicing one song called Dead Babies by Alice Cooper. And my mom stormed into the lounge, unplugged all of the amplifiers and said, until you can play decent music, you're not practicing any of that stuff. Anyway, the very first band I played in was my mom's dance band. And we played all over the place. I actually earned some money from that. When I left school, age of 17, I finished my A-levels or matric, and I was in the army. Fortunately, got into the military band, and that was such a great life. I had a great life in the army band. Left there, and I've always been a bit of a maverick. So leaving the band, my mom decided nobody in the family ever had a degree. We were a blue-collar family, and I was going to become an accountant. Well, that didn't really work for me. I was like a round square. I was like a round block in a square trying to fit in. And it just didn't work. They fired me after 10 months for being the most disruptive pupil or person they've ever had working at the company. And then I did what I always wanted to do. I became a drummer in a rock band. And I want to tell you, that was absolutely amazing. Had a fantastic time, did it for 8 years, didn't make much money, but boy, oh boy, the fringe benefits were incredible. And that could be another podcast that I'd be starting, but that may be banned. Had a lovely, lovely life, and then got married, had to get a real job, didn't know what I wanted to do, fell into financial services, had an incredible career in financial services. 1993, moved over to London. Friend and I started a business. We sold it 4 years later. And since 97, I've been a professional speaker, traveling around the world, speaking. I've spoken in 69 countries, visited over 100 countries. So I've always been a bit of a global gypsy. Well, last year I had a whole lot of bookings lined up. I was going to be traveling to Florida, Miami, Los Angeles, and the COVID struck. And all of a sudden, boom, everything was gone. All of my bookings were cancelled. In fact, I even had to pay back money to someone, and I didn't know what to do. I had to sort of reinvent myself, and very quickly thought, well, we don't know how long this is going to last. Let me start creating online courses. So far, I've created 9 online courses. I've sold over 100 of these courses. I've started to do virtual meetings now. I'm doing a lot of virtual presentations to big organizations around the world. But the one thing that I'm really happy about was starting up this Over 49 Club. Because I just thought, with this lockdown, there must be a lot of lonely people or people looking for companionship. So I put it all together, and we meet every Monday night at 7 o'clock London time. So that's GMT. Just work out where it is in your part of the world. And by the way, if you want to join, it's free. Just go to www.over49, so the numerals 49, over49.club. Join our Over 49 Club. The first Monday of every month, we have a get-together. Everybody goes into rooms and introduces themselves, just as a chat. We'll have different themes. The first Monday, the best thing that happened to you, the funniest thing that happened to you, your first kiss. So it'll be really, really funny. The second Monday is quiz night. So every second Monday, we've got a quiz night. We've got all kinds of quizzes, musical quizzes, other kinds of general knowledge quizzes. And we just want to get as many people involved as possible. One great thing, being a good international speaker, I've spoken on stage with some of the most incredible people on the planet, and I've gone back to a lot of them, and most of these would charge, if they're going to do a keynote, they'd be charging anything from $10,000 to $50,000 for a 1-hour talk. So many of them have come back to me and said, Frank, listen, this is the Over 49 Club. I will do it with pleasure. So every third Monday, you will hear and see some of the most incredible speakers on the planet, people you'll never get the opportunity to see again. The fourth Monday is going to be the how-to, where I'll be bringing in experts and I'll be sharing ideas on how to do things, how to use Zoom, how to use video, how to get video email, how to avoid being hacked. So lots and lots of ideas, and today is just our initial podcast. I'm just saying it as it is. So please, if you're listening to this anywhere, please go in and join us. We've got a private Facebook group where we've got a lot of members chatting to each other all the time. We've got our private YouTube account, or what I call our TV channel. And as we build and build, I'm going to form other kinds of groups. So as we've got enough people, I'm going to have a single malt group, a cigar group, a tennis group, a paddle group. So we just want this to grow. It's for our community. Anybody over the age of 49 So, hey, this is Frank. Please listen to our regular podcasts, and I'm looking forward to seeing you as part of our 49 Club. See you there.